Imagine this. You're in an interview and the interviewer asks you to tell me about a time that you overcame a challenge. Your mind races and you end up giving a vague answer that doesn't really leave an impression. Does this sound familiar? If so, don't worry, you're not alone, and I've got you covered. Hey, I'm Abby and welcome back to the Life Work Balance YouTube channel. I'm a career and interview coach, and I help people just like you feel more confident and strategically prepare for your job search and interviews. In today's video, we're talking about storytelling during interviews, why it's a game changer, how you can master it, and the simple techniques to help you shine in your next interview. Let's dive in. Storytelling during interviews isn't just a trendy concept. It's the secret sauce to standing out. Here are 3 reasons why. First, it creates an emotional connection with the interviewer. Hiring managers are more likely to remember you when your answers to their questions include engaging and relatable stories. It demonstrates your skills in action. So instead of just saying the subjective comment that I'm really great at problem solving, you can actually show and demonstrate how you've problem solved in the past. And 3, it organizes your responses. A well-structured story makes your answers to their interview questions clear and concise. It's easy to follow and they're impactful. Your stories leave no room for confusion or misunderstanding. So let's talk about the 3 key elements to a great story. First, you'll want to use the STAR or the CAR method. My preference is the CAR method just because it's one less letter to remember in the acronym, but they're essentially the same thing. So CAR, context, action, result. Start by describing the context, the situation, the scenario. Set the scene for the listener. Then dive into the action that you took in this particular situation as it relates to the question they've asked you. And then wrap up your story by focusing on the results or the outcomes that you were able to achieve. So using the STAR or the CAR method is the first key element to telling a great story, especially during interviews. The second key element to telling a great story is to keep your story relevant to the question that you've been asked. Tailor your stories to the job that you are interviewing for, and tailor those stories to the specific question that has been asked by the interviewer. You want to make sure that your story aligns with the job and the question. And finally, be authentic. Don't try to impress the interviewers by exaggerating or providing false information. Your real stories will resonate more with the interviewer. Your authenticity will show that you are genuine, and it will help you build rapport and connect at a deeper level with the interviewer. So now let's talk about how you can practice and improve your storytelling skills. The first thing you want to do is identify common questions that can come up during an interview. I highly recommend watching some of my other videos on this topic, as well as utilizing resources like ChatGPT to analyze the job description or the job posting and generating questions based off of that description. When you identify these common questions, you'll likely start to find themes of stories that you can refer back to for a variety of different questions. These will be themes like teamwork, collaboration, problem solving, leadership, communication, achievements, etc. Once you have identified those common questions and your themed stories that are going to be relevant to those types of questions, it's time to start to remember them. So you do this by writing them down or documenting them in some way. Jot your stories down and then edit and refine them. You want them to be clear, you want them to be concise, and you want to make sure that you feel comfortable enough with the story that it flows smoothly. Once you have actually documented your stories, it's time to actually practice them for delivery. Rehearse your stories out loud, either in front of a mirror, using your phone and doing a voice memo or a video recording. Practice using one of the virtual meeting platforms like Zoom or Microsoft Teams. Record yourself so you can not only hear your answers and hear how smooth they are, how clear they are, how concise they are, but you can also watch yourself for that nonverbal body language. You can practice with another person, a friend, a family member, or even an interview coach like me. And once you've practiced your stories, hopefully you'll be able to get some feedback, some data from those practice sessions. I highly recommend recording yourself, answering these practice questions. It might feel uncomfortable to hear the sound of your own voice, and at the same time, it will be invaluable data. If you practice with another person, again, I still recommend recording that practice, but also get their feedback in addition to the recording feedback that you can go back and listen to and watch. When it comes to answering interview questions, You want to make sure you keep your answers concise and clear. Reduce your rambling. You want to aim for your response to be about 1 to 2 minutes long. Talking for 5 minutes is way too long. You'll notice this if you go back and listen, that it just feels like it's taking forever for you to give your answer to this question. So aim for brevity with your brief response. Hopefully your response is also clear. Along the same lines of being clear and concise, you also want to provide vivid details. Now, this doesn't mean that you ramble by going on and give paragraphs and paragraphs of detailed information, but you want to provide enough vivid details for it to feel real to the interviewer, and you don't want to ramble. So you have to find that perfect balance, which is why practice is so important. You will start to hone and refine your stories, making them vivid enough that they are believable and that they actually happened, while also sticking to the point. And then finally, show enthusiasm. Your energy can make your story more compelling. Showing enthusiasm and confidence in your delivery makes it more believable, authentic, genuine, and overall more enjoyable to listen to. With those different things, you will certainly stand out to the interviewers. Storytelling can be your superpower during interviews. It helps you connect, impress, and leave a lasting positive impression. So start crafting and practicing your stories today. If you need help with this, I offer one-on-one individualized coaching sessions where I can work with you to help you identify, craft, and hone your specific stories for any interview that you might have coming up. If this is something that interests you, please reach out to me today. I've linked my website as well as my email in the description box below. I offer sessions each week, and my sessions fill up quickly. So if this is something you're interested in, please reach out to me today. If you found this video helpful, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you have any additional questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas on the topic of storytelling during an interview, please leave them in the comments box below. I love receiving comments, and I do my best to respond to each of them individually. And just know that if I'm not able to get back to you quickly, your stories, your comments, the experiences that you share below will likely help someone who's going through something similar in the future. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so that you can receive life-work balance advice delivered directly to you every week. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.